Hey guys and girls, I'm pretty new to this, but this is a document I've been working on for a long time. I call it the Astra Militarum, or the Imperial Guard 9th edition balance adjustments and sales opportunities. So effectively what I'm trying to do is I'm updating all the data sheets, rules and point costs of any units that I believe need an adjustment or a buff for a hypothetical Imperial Guard 9th edition codex. So this is my first part of this series. So part one, essentially what I'm going to go through right now is just the very basic elements and definitions and what I would like to see as labeled as core units in this hypothetical codex. So starting with core units. So in light of all the 9th edition codexes that's currently been released, I believe the Astra Militarum Imperial Guard core unit should be a relatively simple one. So effectively, all core units would be anything with the regiment keyword, provided it is a non-character and non-titanic unit. Should be considered a core unit. What does that mean? That means that any company commanders, platoon commanders, master of ordnances, and Baneblades, essentially, any vehicles like that, so Macarius, Gorgon heavy transport, anything like that, are not core units. Anything else, so anything ranging from a infantry squad, Lehman Russ tank, Chimera transport, Basilisk, would all be considered a core unit. So personally, I believe that is something that should be fundamentally done, as it would be incredibly law-friendly. The Imperial Guard are a faction that numbers in either the hundreds of billions or quadrillions across the galaxy, and every regiment, so not the key word, but the actual regiment organization structure, is completely customizable. So you'll have artillery regiments with purely artillery batteries, and then perhaps supported with some infantry natively. You'll have armoured companies of just consisting of Lehman Russ tanks, perhaps supported by some artillery units, Hydras, for AA defence, and then you'd have what's used to be known as armoured fist squads, so essentially just Chimera transports with infantry squads that would be in support. So essentially a mechanised unit that would be attached to an armoured unit. So yeah, that's why I believe that core should be relatively simple. So again, just all regiment units that are non-characters and non-titanic should get the core keyword. Next, so we go on to definitions. So like we've seen in things like the Space Marine Codex with bolt weapons, in the new AdMech Codex for, I think it's called rifle weapons and radium weapons, they have their own batteries. Definitions. We're going to have two sets here, so we're going to have one for models and units, and then one for weapon definitions. So for model and unit definitions, we have things like carriage artillery. So effectively, this is more of what we consider the Forge World units at the moment. So that would be things like your Earthshaker carriages, your heavy mortar battery, your heavy quad launcher battery, your Manticore platform, and your Medusa carriage. So basically all those kind of artilleries that are on wheeled mounts or on actual stationary platforms. That's what that would break down into. Next, we would have the definition for self-propelled artillery. So that would be things like your Basilisk, Bombard, Colossus. Later on, you will find out that I am splitting those two vehicles. Previously, in 5th edition, the Colossus was its own vehicle with its Siege Bombard. I'm pretty sure it's called Siege Bombard. So that was based on a Chimera chassis. And then the Bombard is the one that Hydra, Forge World produced. Sorry, I'm just stumbling my words now. As I said, I'm not used to this. The Bombard is based on the Lehman Russ chassis and is the larger of the two artillery pieces. So I believe that should be split, but we'll cover that more later. So other self-propelled artillery would be the Death Strike, Griffin Mortar Carrier, Manticore, Medusa, and the Wyvern. Then we have the gunship. So that would be the Valkyrie, Vendetta, and the Vulture. Then we're going to have a super heavy tank definition. So that would be anything with the Macarius and the Baneblade keyword. Then we have a tank definition. So that's the so I might butcher the pronunciation here, the Carnodon, the Hellhound, the Leman Russ, Malcador, and Thunderer. So effectively, those 5 units would be wrapped under the tank definition. So we'll get into what those definitions will do later on in this document here, and we'll outline those, and you'll see what I'm trying to do with the definitions themselves. Then we move on to weapon definitions. So again, I've broken it into artillery weapons. So we've got the Bombard Siege Mortar, the Colossus Siege Mortar, the Earthshaker Cannon, Death Strike Missile, Heavy Quad Launcher, Heavy Mortar, Griffin Heavy Mortar. I should probably maybe consolidate those two because they're pretty much the same weapon. But at the moment, I've just kept it, as face value. The Medusa Siege Cannon, Storm Eagle Rockets, Wyvern, and the Wyvern Quad Storm Shard Mortar. Then similar to the Space Marine Codex, we have bolt weapons, so Bolt Pistol, Bolter, Storm Bolter, Heavy Bolter, Twin Heavy Bolter, Avenger Bolt Cannon, Vulcan Mega Bolter, and any relic that replaces a bolter weapon. After that, we have hot shot weapons, so hot shot las pistol, hot shot las gun, hot shot volley gun, the long las, which I'm going to use to replace the sniper rifle. So a long las, for anyone not aware, is effectively a sniper weapon that's based on a extended las gun that has hot shot power packs. So essentially, a bit of spoilers for later in the document and the series, is that a sniper rifle would become AP Neg-2, just to put it in line with all the other hot shot weapons. And then, of course, any relic that replaces a hot shot weapon would also fall under that definition. Then lastly, I have las weapon. So that would be anything with effectively las in the name or a laser weapon. So again, we got hot shot las pistol, hot shot las gun, las pistol, las gun, long las, multi-laser las cannon, and any relic that replaces a las weapon. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the hot shot volley gun in there as well, being a las weapon. All right, so that essentially covers everything from weapon definitions, model definitions, unit definitions, and what I would consider core units. So that would be the first part of this series here. So essentially that breaks down what I'm going to be going into further in this